Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard the 125-foot Atlantis for another virtual Whale and Dolphin watch. I'm Captain Jeff, your quarantine captain. At the helm, Captain Stewart, and we are out at Cape May Point. We just got on our first pod of dolphins here, and from here we're going to be going offshore. Got a little fog today, but sit back, relax, and enjoy the cruise. Dolphins left side and right side here. Take a look behind us here. I think we've got some right beside us, right side. Right in the front of the boat, just went down. Several groups off to our right between us and the point here. So what we're looking at today, folks, we're looking at dolphins or porpoise. What's the difference? Today we're looking at dolphins, not porpoise. See, dolphins have a beak which sticks out the front of their body, makes them appear like they're always smiling, and they have cone-shaped teeth. Porpoise, on the other hand, have a blunt head and spade-shaped teeth. Dolphins are also larger than porpoise. These bottlenose dolphins are about twice the size of a harbor porpoise.
How big are these dolphins? 12 foot, like 10?
The average is like 7 feet.
7 foot?
Yep.
I don't think he's here, Joe.
You said when they, no, you said, so when you said 7 foot, so when they're born, you said that they're black and they're 24 hours old?
18 inches long to 24 inches long when they're less than 48 hours old. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking to the person.
That's awesome.
Ahead of us here, close, across the front of the boat here, left to right. Several groups off to our right as well here, all around Cape May Point. Another way you can tell the difference between dolphins and porpoise, you can just go by the time of year we get to see them here in Cape May. We see dolphins, we see porpoise. We see them in different seasons, though. Right next to us, right side here. Our dolphins, they show up here around the middle of April. They stay with us throughout the spring, summer, and the fall. They leave here around the middle of December. The dolphins do this because they like the water 50 degrees or warmer. Our water temperature out here today, 57.8 degrees. Porpoise, on the other hand, you don't see porpoise this time of year in Cape May, but if you came back out in January or February, you could see all the harbor porpoise you want. They would be out here in 38 degree water, and there would not be any dolphins that time of year. Straight out, right side on the surface here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they'll come right into the breakers. Up ahead of us here. fighting chance they'll be back up. Rule number 1 in whale and dolphin watching: whatever goes down must come up. Again, when they're down for extended periods, they're feeding. They're chasing fish. What kind of fish do you think they're chasing here? They eat all kinds of fish. A primary staple of their diet here is bunker. Bunker is a small oily fish, around 3 to 9 inches in length, silver in color. It's also known as menhaden or moss bunker, depending on where you're catching it. But the dolphins eat all kinds of fish. They will eat flounder. They will eat bluefish, weakfish. You name it, it's on the menu for the dolphins, right side here.
How about crustaceans?
They'll also eat blue claw crabs. Yep. Nice group, right side here. Swimming towards us here on the right side, front of the boat. Every now and then you may see the dolphins on the surface so you can see their eyes. Remember, they do have excellent vision above and below the surface. If you can see their eyes, they're going on people watch. They're watching you, watching them. Checking us out, seeing who's out in that big red boat today. Even though dolphins have excellent vision above and below the surface, they navigate using a different sense, something we don't possess as humans, and that's echolocation or sonar. It's actually a sound pulse, vocalization of the dolphins will emit in the melon portion of their body. The sound pulse travels in the water in front of the dolphin, bounces off of objects like the bottom of the ocean, other dolphins, fish, or even boats. The sound pulse is sent back to the dolphin and sent out, picked up by tiny receptors in their lower jaw or chin. The receptors are actually their teeth. Teeth are staggered into 2 distinct rows so they receive the sound signal back in stereo. This gives dolphins a 3D readout of what's in front of them all the time. Makes it perfectly suited for swimming in murky waters, for hunting and feeding at night. So we got a couple different groups of dolphins around the boat here today, ladies and gentlemen. We're down here at Cape May Point on board the 125-foot Atlantis. Out on a public cruise today. We're right here at Cape May Lighthouse. Got a small group of folks out today. Wanted to take advantage of this beautiful weather here. Who could blame them? Beautiful day. A little bit of fog to contend with out at the Cape May Inlet. So we came down out through the Cape May Canal out into the bay here, down to the point. And now we got some dolphins. See where they come back up. Straight out left side here, dolphins just up on the surface. And at 11 o'clock here. You got a group at 9 o'clock and you got a group at 11 o'clock. Both 2 spots here. Back on the surface, up ahead, 10 o'clock here. And swimming towards the front of the boat here. Nice group. Yeah, have you ever thought about how a dolphin sleeps? Left side up ahead here. Not really, right? It's pretty important though. Think about a sleeping dolphin like this, if you will. Dolphins are members of the order Cetacean, grouped into toothed whales and baleen whales. Dolphins are marine mammals. They have to surface to breathe air. They breathe air like we do. Well, we can't lay down on the ocean floor and take a nap, right? Neither can the dolphins. Now, scientists knew for years they're related to other cetaceans like humpback whales, and they had witnessed humpback whales doing something called logging. They were tired. Another group of dolphins further out on the left here. This group's going behind us left side here. That later time clock. Now, this process of logging for humpback whales is pretty simple. They float up on the surface with their back exposed to the air so they can breathe while they sleep. Humpback whales can do that because they're comprised of a lot of blubber. Blubber is a fatty tissue, and we all know that floats. Dolphins, on the other hand, dolphins are comprised of a lot of muscle tissue. Dolphins are more dense in water. They stop swimming and actually sink to the ground. Hard to breathe, on the planet. Finally, a Russian scientist had 2 dolphins in captivity who had come play brainwave machine to solve the mystery. Dolphins have the ability to isolate either hemispheres of their brain throughout the day. So throughout one part of the day, the dolphin is swimming in the left hemisphere of their brain only. Right hemisphere is turned off, sleeping. Throughout another part of the day, they're swimming on the right hemisphere of their brain only. And the left hemisphere is turned off, sleeping. And throughout more rigorous activities like feeding or mating, dolphins are operating on both left and right hemispheres of the brain at the same time. Unlike man, the uncontaminated man will be operating on no hemispheres of the brain. Brings up another interesting topic with dolphins. How about their mating behavior? Did you know that dolphins are some of the most sexually active creatures on the planet? Unlike other animals that only mate when the females are heat, the dolphins mate 365 days a year. They mate for fun and recreation. Some male dolphins, believe it or not, they've been known to mate 5 to 7 times per day. You gotta love those dolphins. Puts a whole new spin on that theory about coming back as a bird in the next life. A couple different groups up ahead of us here, all going to the left here. They're all working into the tide. You've got the Delaware Bay to our left, and we have an outgoing or ebb tide here. So all the water's coming out of the bay. The dolphins, you'll note, are they really haven't moved too far from where we first picked up with them here, and they're swimming into the tide. They're letting the tide bring the fish to them. So as the tide goes out, it brings all kinds of nutrients and small fish and bigger fish with it. The dolphins are sitting here in the rips waiting for it. It's kind of like takeout. Surfacing right side here between us and the beach. The rest of the group was to our left. And our left side close also, both sides. Our dolphins usually show up here in April. So they are migratory. They leave here in the wintertime, many of them do. I also mentioned that we photo identify the dolphins here in Cape May. We have an internship program with Stockton University for photo identifying bottlenose dolphins. The interns photograph the dolphin's dorsal fins. That's the fin on the back of the dolphin. Their dorsal fins are unique, many of them. We can tell individuals apart from one another. So the interns are aboard for a couple days a week. They photograph these dorsal fins. They catalog them in the winter time. And they can count dolphins around Cape May. We can also compare our data with other catalogs up and down the East Coast. It turns out many of the dolphins that spend their summers here in Cape May, they spend their winters down in the Outer Banks in North Carolina. Our most recent comparison, there were 66 individuals in our catalog that are also in the North Carolina catalog. Just moving towards us here, left side. Across the front of the boat. We're sitting here drifting with them. Hi, Whitney. Good to see you tuning in. Nice group of fins here. A little breezy. It's a real slight breeze here today, Terry. Nothing to be concerned with, but it does make the microphone a little muffled. Sorry about that. Wow. Thank you very much, Richard O'Barry. That means the world to me. I hope you can join us sometime. I'd love to have you on board. Thank you very much. We have Richard O'Barry tuning in on our live broadcast today. Very happy to have him aboard virtually here. Why are the dolphins so dark? I think that's just your lighting here today, Whitney. I'm noticing everything in the camera looks a little dark here. We got this fog going on today. We didn't come out the front because of the fog, and I think that might be changing the lighting with the camera here. This is just a basic camera phone that I'm using here, so it's camera in my iPhone here. I don't have a whole lot of control over the lighting, especially in this Facebook Live app, so that's probably why they look darker than usual. Depends on how you're catching the shadows. No whales yet today, Sharon. We just got out here. We got a ton of fog around today, so I don't know how our whale sightings are going to be this afternoon. It really depends on where we can go and who we can talk to. Great group of fins here, though. They even look a little lighter from this angle than the side over here. All same species, bottlenose dolphins. Fog in the distance there. Coming this way a little bit. Cape May up ahead. Van asking if we've seen any calves or babies here yet. No calves yet in this pod. Yep, there. Dolphins were just up ahead of us here. Main group came up here between us and the beach. A couple more to our right up ahead. Plenty of space on the beach, folks. If you're looking for social distancing, the beaches have had some space, and I think that's going to continue into June here. I've said it before, honestly, it's one of the best places you could go for social distancing. You know, everybody always likes to crowd down by the water. You could grab a spot not so close to the water and be left alone. We've got some of the biggest beaches over in Wildwood Crest. Coming down the left side. We are off of Cape May Point is the beach that we're at right here. So right down by the lighthouse and the state park down here. Okay, we're gonna get our last shots in. Look at this pod of dolphins. To his left side here, drifted past him here, coming this way on the left. We've told you lots of information about dolphins in a short period of time here, and I don't expect you to remember everything about dolphins. If you can remember one fact out of it all, please remember this. Where are we? Well, where are we right now? We're out in the Atlantic Ocean now. We started out in Delaware Bay. That's back behind us here. Where are the dolphins? Well, they're in the same place, right? They're out here, they're in the wild, and they are free. Dolphins like this in the wild live 45 to 50 years out here. And the dolphins you see out in captivity, like in a marine mammal park show, they're not so lucky. Typically, for every one dolphin you see held in captivity, there have been 3 dolphins captured. The first 2 die in the first 90 days of capture. The last one, lucky dolphin you get to see in a show, only lives to the ripe old age of around 5, and that's it. So what are we getting at? It doesn't matter whether you're on this boat or somebody else's. What really matters is the well-being of the dolphins. This is where they belong, living out their lives the way the Creator intended them to live. not swimming around a little concrete tank in endless circles where they go blind from swimming in chlorinated water and die off from some other eye-related disease. No way, gang. The dolphins, they belong out here. Dolphins do not do well in captivity. It's a proven fact. Anybody aboard ever heard of a TV series from the 1960s and 70s called Flipper? How many dolphins do you think starred as Flipper? About 5. Now, Flipper's trainer was a man by the name of Richard O'Barry. Richard O'Barry went from being the foremost dolphin trainer in the nation to becoming the most outspoken advocate of freedom for all dolphins all over the world. He's still very active today. If you want to know what he's been up to or how you can help out captive dolphins worldwide, check out his website, dolphinproject.com. And we're actually doing a virtual whale and dolphin watch here today, ladies and gentlemen. Richard O'Barry's tuning in, checking it out. So, with us today, checking out the dolphins here off of Cape May Point with us. Here working their way into the bay. We're going to work our way out of the area. We're going to keep searching here today, look for something bigger as we pull away from this pod of dolphins. It's always good luck to wave goodbye and we'll be next to see them on the shore. That's right, Jim. The dolphins belong in the wild. You are at Cape May Point, the southernmost tip of the state of New Jersey. Any further south, you will get wet. On your left, you can see the famous Cape May Lighthouse. We've been watching the dolphins around here today. It's the third lighthouse to be built here. The first two, they were lost to the sea. The third and present-day lighthouse was constructed in the year 1859. It is 157.5 feet tall, 199 steps up to the top, where it houses a 350,000 candle power light, visible at sea 19 miles on a clear night. MAC, the Mid-Atlantic Center for the Arts and Humanities, co-sponsor of our cruises. They have received over $2 million in grant money to restore the lighthouse to its original sandstone color and do massive renovations to the lantern section of the oil house. For a small donation to MAC, you can make the climb up to the top for a beautiful panoramic view of Cape May Point and the surrounding waters. Large concrete structure built up on the beach. That's a World War II gun emplacement bunker. This originally housed two 155mm Seacoast artillery guns, and they had a 12-mile range. What's more important than what it is, how about when and where it was built? Well, it was built in 1942, 900 feet back from the nearest water's edge and underground. That's how much land erosion we've suffered here over the years. Truth be told, it's even worse than that, gang. Right now, you're sailing over top of the remains of an old Victorian village known as South Cape May. All that's left are the streets and the foundations of some of the old homes from this Victorian-era town. South Cape May was originally marketed to the African-American community. One land developer attempting to attract attention to this area put up a wooden and tin-side elephant here, a lot like Lucy up in Margate. This was called the Light of Asia. It was put up in 1885. It was torn down just 15 years later. There's the view from Cape May Point looking up towards the cove here in Cape May City. That's something. You're now looking out the front of the Atlantis here. Like the beachfront has cleared off a little bit. When we first came out Cape May Inlet, or at least attempted to go out Cape May Inlet, we were fogged in pretty solid. Still can't see the inlet up the beach there, so it's waiting for us up there. I think Terry had asked earlier, what's the temperature like? About 70 degrees on land, about 55 degrees out here on the water, so quite the contrast. That's why we got this fog working. It's pretty damp this morning. Fog rolled in last night. It was pretty thick. Still a pretty day, even with the fog. If you're just joining us here, we're out on a 3-hour whale and dolphin watch here aboard the 125-foot Atlantis. I'm Captain Jeff. I have Captain Stewart at the helm. This is a public cruise today. We have a few folks out for midweek here. And I think we've got some more folks scheduled throughout the rest of the week here, so looking forward to more public trips. With as few folks out today, social distancing is no problem on a 125-foot of double-deck boat. And we're wearing our face masks when we're down on deck and everything, though. Doing our part. See, we got a few people down the beach. The beaches are open here in Cape May. As of June 1st, the hotels are going to be open here in Cape May at a limited capacity, just like we're operating a limited capacity, giving everybody their space. And many of the restaurants in Cape May are also open. Everybody's doing curbside pickup, takeout, delivery. They're even doing takeout cocktails. So the shore is still here, folks, and it is open. And opening up and getting a little better every day, so. And on our left, that's the city of Cape May. Now, Cape May is a very historic city dating back to the whaling days and beyond. It originally was a 2-day journey down to Cape May from the then capital city of Philadelphia. The first day down as far as May's Landing. The second day down to Cape May by stagecoach. Today, the entire city of Cape May is a National Historic Landmark for its unique collection of Victorian homes and hotels. We're going to loop our way around here, folks. As you can see, the fog is waiting for us. We're going to work our way out towards Delaware Bay here, I believe.
Got a nice group of fins here.
Captain Stewart says we had some dolphins go down up ahead of us here, so we're going to slow down and check this out. Now you're on the edge of the fog. Saying it my whole life here. And honestly, I never would have known about it if it wasn't for you, so thank you. This group went down and are staying down. They got the do not disturb sign up. We're going to keep going. That group went down and are staying down here, folks. Probably feeding, so let's keep looking. We're going to work our way back towards the Delaware Bay and the rips here for our most recent report. Plus it's where the fog is not. you guys back inside the pilot house here. It's Captain Stewart. Where are we headed, boss?
Well, we don't have a lot of time, but I'm seriously considering sliding up the Cape May Channel up to where those bunker boats were the other day, yesterday, just to look around and you know, the bunker boat wasn't there for its health. If they were there, they were bunkered there, so
Well,
let's
yeah.
go see if there's any left over, and you know, it's what they eat.
Sounds good to me. I don't think there's anybody else to give us a report, so.
Yeah, we're on our own. Little group of things. Stuff's just hanging there like a curtain.
Yeah.
It's working its way right over to Prissy Wicks.
Yep.
You know, the wind's beating the tide, blowing it.
Still a pretty day, even with the fog.
Yeah,
Glad we got out at least.
me too.
And I mean, I'm not in the boatyard, so.
And nobody's going to yell at us for having too many people on a boat.
That's for sure. And that's fine. Looking at the comments here, I see some folks who say they're coming down, and I think that's great. I see a couple folks who say they can't make it out this year and they're going to miss us. It's a shame, but we do understand that some of you have your reasons, and that makes sense. I've had a couple people asking today, are we going to continue doing virtual trips? I'm doing my best to do the virtual trips when I can here, ladies and gentlemen. When we do have the public cruises, there's a couple more things to it than when we're just out here, just me and the camera. And I do apologize. I'm doing my best, and I'll continue trying to provide that for everybody, especially for everybody who can't make it out with us here. It's a very strange year, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Stewart.
Working our way back through the Cape May Rips. Got the Cape May Lewis Ferry. Looks like the ferry Delaware departing Cape May on its way over to Delaware. Do we ever see whales? Yes, we do. We see humpback whales, our primary species of baleen whales that we see here in Cape May. We also see minke whales on occasion. We see fin whales also on occasion. That group of dolphins is still hanging in the same exact spot. They're inshore of us here. Just had a couple of them go down. They're hanging right here off of Cape May Point. Really haven't moved too far, see if they come back up here. There they are. Hang on. Must be something good to eat in that spot because they are just hanging there. There's one little rip line that goes along there. So that's probably why they're there. And we give you one last look at the lighthouse here as we're cruising back into the bay. Good shot. St. Mary's by the Sea, a Sisters Summer Retreat right in front of it there. Home to the Sisters of St. Joseph. However, it was built as the Shoreham Hotel by John Wanamaker in the year 1890. It sold to the Sisters in 1909 for the small sum of $9,000. You gotta hand it to them. They know their real estate. It's one of the few places on the East Coast where you can see the sun rise over the Atlantic Ocean and set over the Delaware Bay. Have I seen any sharks? Jim's asking here. What kind of sharks? Yes, we have seen sharks. When we're on our normal trip schedule, folks, we do around 21 to 25 trips a week. And yes, we do see sharks on occasion, maybe once a week, one of those trips out of it. It's usually small hammerheads. We'll see a dusky here and there. Thrasher shark every now and then when we're further offshore. I've seen a mako jump once, so it's not a common thing. Some other cool things you may see while you're out on a whale and dolphin watch with us, in addition to whales, dolphins, and birds. Sharks are a possibility. But remember, they don't have to come to the surface to breathe air like the whales and dolphins. So, molas are another possibility. Ocean sunfish, we see those. If you're not familiar with those, go to Google and type in mola. They are really cool. Largest of the bony fish. Taking it back around Cape May Point here. We also see sea turtles, including leatherback sea turtles on occasion. Not too many last year. The year before that, we had quite a few. In fact, in the fall of the year, we had one trip where we counted, I think it was upwards of 200 leatherback sea turtles. They must have been migrating through the area at that time. And working around out into the bay here. See another pod of dolphins up by this little boat. Somebody had asked about how rough it is today. Really not rough at all. Not a whole lot of wind. This pod of dolphins is greyhounding down the bay here. Might be coming down to join our other pod that we left back there at Cape May Point. Could have called them over and said, hey guys, looking for a late lunch, we found it. Wreck of the concrete ship, the Atlantis, there at Sunset Beach. The Atlantis was 210 feet in length, commissioned back in June 1919. She was part of an experimental project during World War I to build ships out of concrete instead of steel. Due to a shortage of steel, she made several transatlantic crossings as a cargo ship. After being decommissioned, she was being brought here to be used as part of a ferry breakwater system. However, during a storm, she broke loose from her tow line, She then ran aground here, cracked in half, and she's been there ever since. Once again, constructed entirely of concrete, reinforced with steel rods. One of 13 ships built this way during World War I. There were actually 42 of them built that way during World War II. Sunset Beach is also an excellent spot to pick up Cape May diamonds. Cape May diamonds are a smallish stone which can be heat treated, polished, and made up into costume jewelry. If you look closely today, you got a couple people bending over and picking them up. As I mentioned before, the beaches are open. Also at Sunset Beach, every evening in season, we have a flag lowering ceremony there every evening. A different flag every evening for a different fallen veteran. Yes, Terry, I think Captain Stewart does have at least one whale sighting today that we're going to check out, the report at least. So that's where we're cruising towards, out into the mouth of the bay here. I don't know how long any of you have been tuning in here, but we did start off this year with several whales out in the middle of Delaware Bay, some of our earlier virtual whale and dolphin watch trips. And then as of about 10 days ago, I guess now, we had 3 humpback whales up on the Wildwood beachfront that we were fortunate enough to get on one of these virtual trips. So they are around. We missed them this past weekend. It's always a little different here, folks. There are people out in boats now, finally. Normally we start off our season in March. And by now we're up to running a full schedule of 3 to 4 trips per day, every day, 7 days of the week. And right now we're still, we skipped yesterday. We were out on Monday for one trip. We're out today for one trip. We're hoping to go tomorrow, Friday. It's always a little different. We do require some participation here, though. We are breaking some of the rules on what normally would constitute enough people to go. We're out here with 12 today, folks. So lots and lots of space on our 125-foot long boat, as we mentioned earlier. In any case, fewer trips, less boats on the water. It all comes up to less reports and makes the job of finding whales and dolphins, for that matter, more difficult. Throw into that some not so stellar weather over the weekend, where we had some very strong winds on Sunday, and that just makes sightings not impossible, just difficult. Even on your normal Memorial Day weekend, I would say if somebody told me that the boat traffic was down this weekend, I think we were maybe 20 to 25% what normally would be out here. So big reduction in the number of folks out on the water. Certainly a big reduction in the number of passengers out on the boat. Bringing you out here into Delaware Bay. Got the Cape May Lewis ferry off to our left here. They're on their way over to Lewis, Delaware. That's where our report came from. We were talking to the ferry earlier. Commenting in here about one of the favorite things we do is removing the balloons out of the water during our tours. We are continuing to do that, Jim. Glad you appreciate that. It's something that a lot of folks I don't think understand when they have balloons in their homes, or if they have a party with balloons and they let them go up in the air. It's a good point to bring up. One thing that you all can do to help out the dolphins, help out the whales, help out the birds out here, don't let those balloons go. Don't Don't do balloon releases where you release hundreds of balloons into the air because it looks cool on your video or what you're going to put on YouTube later or Facebook for that matter. Those balloons aren't going to heaven, folks. They're going to come out right out here in the ocean. Eventually, that's where it all ends up, right? Somewhere in nature. And then those balloons get eaten. There's some studies being done right now that birds, they're actually, they'll seek out the balloons because of how they smell. They absorb the smell of the fish around them and make them almost more desirable, like bait to the birds. So don't do balloon releases. There's all kinds of other things you could do to decorate with stuff that's not going to fly away from you. Another one of my pet peeves are those lantern releases. Same idea. I mean, they're paper in most regards. I've never had much luck with them. I tried to do one once, and I watched the folks. They torched 3 of them trying to get that lantern to go. Usually it's too windy. But same thing, it's littering, folks. I know it's beautiful on your video and it's a lasting memory, but it's still littering. Out here in the mid-bay channel, working out past the ferry buoys here towards the mid-bay channel. You were wondering about that fog I was talking about earlier. Well, the camera is now pointing in the same direction as to where that ferry just was about 30 seconds ago. I can still just make it out if you look closely, but that ferry just went right into the fog bank like it disappeared. Still got plenty of fog out here. We just happen to be on the nice side of it here. I think we're probably going to wrap it up here, folks. If we find a whale, we will tune back in. We're still searching here right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are working our way out into the middle of the bay here, checking out our most recent report. If we do find a whale on our excursion here, we're going to tune back in later on for another Facebook Live. I'm Captain Jeff, your quarantine captain. Very happy to have you all aboard today. So happy you could make this trip with us. I look forward to seeing some of you in the future here. For those of you who can't make it for one reason or another, we do understand, and we'll keep doing our virtual trips, try and keep you informed, and give you something to do. In the meantime, stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll all get through this storm together. I'm Captain Jeff, signing off.